Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today. We wanted to take a moment to speak with you about some truly shifting developments in the world of e-commerce and broadly, I would say, the digital commerce ecosystem as a whole. Google recently announced the Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP. This protocol establishes the foundational rules that will guide basically LLM enhanced commerce moving forward. If you want to put it in practical terms, this is very much before and after in how everyone from merchants, platforms, and customers will interact, discover products, and just go all the way through checkout and complete a transaction. Commerce is shifting, being primarily UI driven to being agent driven. And basically, AI systems increasingly will act on behalf of all users. We want to be very transparent. This is very early. Not everything is fully defined yet. This has just very recently come out, and some aspects will continue to evolve over time. But one thing is true, the direction is unmistakable. Our goal today is to help you make sense of what this means, provide a little bit of initial guidance, and most of all, and more importantly, walk through you the next immediate steps that every organization should be considering to ensure that they are aligned with the future of commerce. Think of this conversation not so much as a deep technical dive, but as a compass. We want to help you understand where things are going and how to start preparing today so you're not playing catch up tomorrow. So for us to get started, I would like to speak a little bit with Matthias. Matthias is a development manager with over 10 years of experience in NetSuite. So I probably would start with the most basic question that everybody wants to know at this moment. Matthias, what is UCP?
Hi, Marcelo. Good to see you. So let's start for what it is, UCP. UCP stands for Universal Commerce Protocol. Basically, the goal of UCP, it's pretty simple. Allows users to discover products, understand offers, and complete purchases directly within the Google AI-powered experiences without friction. UCP standardize how products, pricing, availability, and checkout actions are described and executed. In short, UCP is a common commerce language between platforms and merchants, enabling faster, safer, and more consistent buying experience. Summarizing, just like HTTP standardized how browsers talks to server, UCP standardized how AI, Google, and merchant talk about buying things.
Thank you so much, Mati. I think that makes perfect sense. Now that we've got out of the way basically what UCP is, I think the next thing is, why should I care about this? How does it affect merchants? And what happens if I don't do anything about it? For that, I think it would make sense to ask Felipe. Felipe is our growth director, and he also has over 10 years of experience in marketing. So, Feli, what do you think about this?
Yeah, thank you, Marcin. I think for this in particular, like this is probably the biggest infrastructure change we have since the introduction of the mobile web. For me, this protocol in particular really changes how we think about optimization, and we can think it like split into three practical ways. The first one is that agents don't really interpret your brand storytelling the way humans do. So if your policies, your pricing, your shipping promises, they are not explicit and structured, agents treat that as a risk, and they will either fail the purchase or they will choose another merchant that is easier to transact with. In the second place, we have UCP putting a lot of pressure on clean, consistent product and policy data. Plus, you have real-time transactions, which have to be really correct in terms of inventory, total, taxes, fulfillment options, returns, and so on. So if those aren't reliable and consistent across your feed, your site, your checkout, you will get drop-offs. So that is something really important to consider. And lastly, in the third place, we have agent native SEO. And this is a shift we have been seeing not just with UCP in particular, but we are moving from traditional SEO. It's funny to say traditional because SEO has never been traditional as a whole, but we are moving from SEO to GEO, so generative engine optimization. which marketers really need to ensure their product data and the feeds are rich enough for the UCP to read and recommend. And for basically for the second part of the question, what happens if you don't implement UCP? In the near term, nothing explodes really. You can still sell the normal way, but in the mid to long term, you're risking becoming really unreachable to probably the fastest growing segment of consumers. So your site will be less and less eligible for native agentic checkout. So in that sense, you will see more friction when an agent tries to buy, and over time, you will risk becoming the hard to buy option for AI agents.
That to me makes this something that really to pay attention to. So let's say that I have a website and I want to implement UCP. What is the first thing that I should do to implement this, Feli?
UCP starts with data quality. So Google really requires you to have clean, structured, and reliable product information. So your products, your pricing, your availability, your policies. The product feed is the foundation, basically. A feed is not just a list of products. It must be accurate. It has to be consistently updated, and it has to be aligned with your actual business rules. So once the feed is solid, UCP connects that data with your checkout flows, your validation, your business logic. So at the end of the day, if you don't have a solid product feed, you don't really have a reliable UCP implementation.
Thank you so much, Feli. Let's start maybe discussing a little bit about the bigger e-commerce platforms that are out there. Maybe just go through a couple of examples. What about Matias, in terms of Shopify and BigCommerce, for example, is UCP already covered there? Is there anything that someone needs to do in that case?
It's a really good question. So platforms like Shopify and BigCommerce are largely aligned with Google Commerce standard. So in most of the cases, merchants do not need to build UCP capabilities from the scratch. However, there are some configurations that still matters. For example, feed validation, just like Felipe was mentioning, permissions, domain verification, and of course, data accuracy. UCP may be technically available, but still require review and validation, and of course, optimization. This is where a trust partner is important, and providing support to implementation of this caliber.
So in that case, I would say that probably it's more about the guidance and just making sure that you're choosing the correct data and presenting it the correct way. Maybe not necessarily so much about technical hard implementations there.
Correct, yes.
Got it. So, and in terms of, for example, NetSuite and SuiteCommerce, is that also natively applied, or is there anything that needs to be done?
Well, with NetSuite and SuiteCommerce, the approach is different. There is no out-of-the-box UCP implementation. This means that the product feed, endpoints, validation, business logic must be designed and implemented manually. The advantage of this, of course, is control and flexibility, such as complex pricing rules, ERP-driven logic, B2B enterprise scenarios. So UCP, it can be fully implemented on SuiteCommerce, but it requires some technical experience and, of course, commerce expertise.
Thank you so much, Mati. I think in both cases that you've mentioned, right, both in the Shopify and the BigCommerce and also the SuiteCommerce, this is exactly where we are here to help, right? We just want to bring a little bit of certainty in these uncertain times, if you want to put it that way. So we're here to guide you, provide you with marketing and technical proficiency in everything that you may need. So very much feel free to contact us.